Hey, what's going on, everybody? Funny thing is, I did this video like 4 times already, had to restart it, and then when I finally got the take that I wanted, I checked it, and my microphone failed. So I'm using a headset right now. We will have a new microphone coming in, hopefully by next week, but I'll be using this headset, unless for some reason I can figure out what's going on with the microphone. So we're doing the quad driver in-ear headphones from One More. I'm going to put that off to the side. Here's a nice box that they come in. Going to open that up without knocking the... This desk is really too small for this. I had a 6-foot desk before, which was perfect. And now I have a 4-foot origami desk that just absolutely is only good for like a kid's room or something. I don't know. It just sucks. So you get this clip, airplane adapter, stereo adapter, all of these different tips. Right down to here is silicone, and then these are all foam tips. Very similar in... You get a case too, by the way. Nice case. Here's the quad drivers right here. I wasn't using those tips, so forgive me, they're all dusty. Put them, if I can pop that out, put them side by side here. Here is your triple. These are triple drivers. So as you can see, the quad's a little bit bigger, a little bit different shaped. They're together. The triple driver is really nice, by the way. And basically it's set up like this, although the quad has the stereo adapter up there and stuff. You get all of these, the case, it looks really nice inside. This case, by the way, is nice. It's a hard case, but it does have a little bit of flex to it. But it is nice, magnetic clasp there too. If it had a belt thing, that would have been cool, huh? Thinking about that, this would have looked good on your belt. So these are the tips that you get with it. They kind of remind me of the Sennheiser tips, or at least the ones that I remember seeing. Somebody else used tips like that. I can't remember what company it was. So let's get to the cons first on this, because there's a lot of things I like about these. They're a big shape. Now in my ears, that isn't a problem. There's a big thick nozzle. The tips were okay that it came with, but I tend to like these better. They're soft, as soft can be. That rubber piece in the middle is firm, obviously, but the silicone just feels so soft. I like those. They're comfortable in the ears. Fixed cable, it's $149, I think. Maybe there's a 10% off as well. It's a fixed cable. Now, there are a lot. I mean, I got cord and majors up there that are $300. They might have come down now, but they were like $300 before. So that's not really much of a big deal. Me personally, my personal preference is always removable cable, because I want to swap out the cable. I want to see where I can take that sound signature. That said, you can get a lot of effects from changing the tips. So at least the tips come off, and you can do that as well. So anyway, the only cons I would say is it's a fixed cable. It's a little on the bigger side, so I don't know how it's going to affect like smaller ears, and you definitely aren't going to be able to use this for sleeping. The cable is decent. It's kind of tangle proof, but it will tangle because it's spring. Any cable will tangle, unless it's like a really thick cable. Sometimes those work very well. And then there's very stiff cables, but those things spring out and you can't roll them up and put them away. It's got this nice remote, which is a plus for people like just using these off of your phone, because it's got the microphone, and this is a metal remote with these nice buttons that works on Android or Apple phones and iOS phones. But ultimately, some dongle DACs and a lot of different battery-operated amplifiers, they're not going to work with this. Fortunately, this works on the Griffin. I had 2 other ones that I just reviewed. They would not work on the Griffin because they had an inline remote. But this one works, so that's good. I was able to use that. I used mostly the Go Bar dongle with this. That seems to be my go-to dongle is the Go Bar, and my go-to amplifier is usually the Griffin. There are times where I like to try TK2 and the X2, but for the most part I do that. And of course I have my DAPs and everything that I use as well. This runs great off of a DAP. Now spec-wise, it isn't the easiest to drive, but it isn't the hardest either. It is 32 ohms, but it is 99 decibels. So it's not going to be the hardest or the easiest. It's going to be somewhere in the middle with that. It definitely will benefit from an amplifier. 20 to 40 kilohertz. This is an oxygen-free copper cable with Kevlar reinforcement. 3.5 millimeter gold-plated termination. Maximum rated power is 5 milliwatts. And that's about 18.5 grams. It has a nice weight to it, but it's not overly heavy. It's lightweight for something that's all metal. So that's good. It's comfort-wise. Comfort-wise, excellent. I found it comfortable. Like I said, smaller ears. I mean, taking something like this is a little bit above average, this one. It's a little bit bigger than the average I am, but as you can see, even next to this, it may be a big, thick, round one, but it's a lot smaller of a surface. And this has that kind of angled nozzle where this just straight bullet-shaped. This is still considered bullet-shaped, but it's just different because it's got the, the slanted thing there, slanted nozzle. Nice filter on the end of it. Looks well. I like the way it looks. It looks excellent. It's got THX certification, by the way. So it does work very well. I have a THX amp. Sounds great on that. Works good on like the Switch for video games, Zelda, Dark Souls, what else do I have? Dragon's Dogma, one of my favorites. Reckoning. I'm trying to name like another RPG. I love RPGs. Sounded great with Doom and Bioshock as well, shooters. Great for movies. I just finished, matter of fact, the TV series, Altered Carbon, the explosions and the fighting, everything sounded really good on this. Excellent for that as well. So I like the build quality, besides the fact that it's a fixed cable and has the remote. I like the build quality of it. Comfort, isolation, very good. Let's get into the signature, shall we? The signature on this is going to be simple. It's a simple signature. It's not overly complex. It is on the dark side, but not too much. It is slightly dark. There still is some decent details there going through the frequencies. It's laid back. It has a very smooth presence to it. You can listen to it. There is some powerful bass here, but it has control. It does sound nice and dynamic. It does kind of have a very good, kind of natural around you, kind of not so much as a big stadium or concert hall, but more of like you're in a club listening to a group playing. You're not front and center in the sound stage, but it's accurate and you can hear where everything's coming from. Mids, warm presentation there. The upper mids don't have a lot of brightness to them. It sounds overly good. It sounds natural and rich. Not the greatest detail retrieval there, but still very pleasant indeed. And then you get into the highs, and the highs have some sparkle. They don't overly extend themselves. They're more smoothed over and kind of on the relaxed side, making them not harsh. There's a lot of V shapes that are harsh. This one I would say is kind of more of a smooth kind of V shape signature, which I happen to like a lot for a lot of different things, especially jazz. Works well for jazz as well. And like I said, it sounds great in movies and TV shows and video games as well. So I'm going to say yes, I like this for ratings and everything. Besides the fact that it's big, because it fits in my eyes just fine. Besides the fact that it's a fixed cable and, obviously, at least it doesn't attach here. They always give you this part, and you don't have to worry about this because this is the weakest part of any attached. Like we just recently did the the FG. I'm not even going to say it because a lot of people were offended by the name of that one, and rightfully so. I mean, we'll be talking about that in the next video anyway. Yeah, that's always the weakest point, and they've managed to eliminate that part by this. Just don't be tugging these out of your ear. Use this part. This is the part that's why this is made. To take in and out of your ear, take this in and out of the case. Even grab by the tip if you have to get it out of the case because it is in there pretty snug. But ultimately, these are very good. I like them. I would definitely recommend these, especially for the 149, and I think there's a 10% off or something like that right now. I'll leave a link to the page as well. Yeah, 149 for the quads, 69 for the triples, and 149 also for the over ears that I showed you before. That is a heck of a bargain. That's like 25% off. That's really nice. How much are the spearheads? The spearheads are 149 too. That is so weird that almost everything is 149. The spearheads are very good for gaming and that. So yeah, I like One More products. I love that One More house sound that they have. That Grammy award-winning person that's been doing their tuning does a very good job as far as I'm concerned. That's about all I can say about these. Like I said, if you like the HG 600 series, I've had the 650s, and you like that kind of sound signature, that's similar to what this is. And I've read other people say that too, so I agree with them 100%. I can't speak for the 600s, but I can speak for the 650s. It does remind me a little bit of that as well. So Sennheiser fans will like these as well if you're looking for an in-ear that has that kind of darkish, kind of relaxed signature that just sounds so pleasant with a lot of different types of music. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was informative, and this has been the One More quad driver, not to be confused with the triple, which we've already reviewed and I think are excellent for their price range. Unfortunately, in this day and age, things are changing so fast. There's so many things in price ranges like $60 and $50 and $30 and stuff like that. It's just hard to ever say, what's better than the other, because there's always a newer one that's coming out like right away. And one thing you'll never hear me say is the best. I do not say the word the best because what I like best doesn't necessarily reflect what is the best. I can say this is far better than the Belon FG. I can say that the little Q is superior to almost everything in its range. I can say that this is a really good IM, and I'm never going to say this is the best IM for $149. You're never going to hear that because there's no such thing as the best. What I'm hearing may be completely opposite of what you're hearing. So we'll get into the next video on the Belon FG because there's been some revelations with that one as well. This one I highly like. It goes in my collection right next to the One More buds. What are those triple driver buds? I can't remember what the buds were. I have them. They're very rare. You can't get them anymore. And I don't care. I've actually been offered $300 for them. I'm not getting rid of them. I like them. Those are my favorite buds. Those ones with the honeycomb on the front of them, the flat buds. The triple driver I like very much. And now the quad driver. Like it a lot. So thank you so much for watching. See you out on the internet somewhere. And please be safe. Bye-bye.